2021 is going to be your year. I hope you're all excited. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to be a successful Airbnb host and make millions of dollars on the Airbnb platform in 2021. Yes, it's still very much possible to start, grow, and succeed on Airbnb even after coronavirus. And all of you hosts, stick around because we're going to talk about some stuff that's going to benefit your current businesses because the industry is always changing. So in this video, Sean Rakijic, an Airbnb expert, is going to teach you how to make a ton of money using other people's property. Let's jump in. Welcome back, Airbnb family. It's so good to see you guys. Happy New Year. I know it's been about a month. I'm sorry about the delay. I had to go and get a haircut and the line was really long. So in this video, I want to talk to you about how to run a successful Airbnb business. Let's start with some of the basics and work our way up. And by the end of this video, guys, all of you hosts that have been running Airbnb businesses will get some value out of this as well. Some big value as always. So this is not just for you new guys out there, but of course, all of you new guys, welcome to the channel. If this is your first video, hit that subscribe button because this is the place to be to talk about Airbnb. So step one to being a successful Airbnb host is to just very clearly define your success. So those of you who do not yet have an Airbnb business and those of you who already do, you both need to do this. What I want you to do is get a journal, get a book, something where you can write some things down. The beginning of a year is a great time to have like extra clarity and a really long runway to set some goals. So what I would like you to do is I'd like you to sit down and ask yourself, what is it really that you're trying to get out of 2021 professionally? You're all looking at short-term rentals, Airbnb, vacation rentals as an idea, and that's why you're watching this video. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to try to imagine what your expectations would be for your own business. Our personal internal goals is we would like to, within the next 2 years, get up to about 200 properties, and then we're gonna start to publicly fundraise on projects that, of course, specialize in rental arbitrage. That's mine. Because of Corona, I'm not making that goal of 200 properties to end in 2021, but I'd like to have it by, say, summer of 2022. But to keep things more simple and more digestible, you can have a big overarching goal like that, but now we need to make some milestones along the way. And so if you're new to Airbnb and you don't have a property yet, then your goals should be to understand what the turnover process looks like. That's probably one of the most important things you need to know to run a good Airbnb business is what is it like for a guest to check out, how to properly turn over a home in a short period of time, thoroughly, impressively, and then have it ready for the next guest. Because effective turnover is probably the biggest cause for profit and loss in the business. See, if you can turn over units quickly and effectively, you can have less staff handling more units, which lowers like one of your operating costs. Now, if you're bad at doing turnovers, it'll lead to bad reviews or guest refunds. So I think if you're absolutely new to the concept of Airbnb, one of the most important things that you will need to know, boots on the ground, is how to conduct an effective turnover. Now, beyond that, if you have an Airbnb property and you're brand new to having your property, other things that you really need to understand to make a great Airbnb that makes a lot of money is one, how to get the right types of photos, and two, how to price your listing against the competition in your local area. Now, I've talked about all of these things extensively, so what I'm going to do is for you newbies, I'm going to put some links in the description of some other videos that I recommend that you watch that give you some of those most basics. I also have a playlist that's like front to back everything you should know to run an Airbnb business. It's got like 150, 180 videos in that free playlist. It's basically a course, but it's free right here on YouTube. I'll put a link for that down below as well. So that could be your goal as a newbie. Now, as somebody who, say, you have 2 or 3 Airbnb properties, your goal for the year would be to effectively grow and scale, to get past 10 properties, up to 15, and hire your first property manager. That's what I think you should do if you're like a young Airbnb host with very little experience, but you've got a couple on the map. If you start to get my size, your goal should be to systemize, to start to break up different pieces of your Airbnb business for other people to take over. Like somebody should be taking over customer experience or customer service. Somebody should be taking over operations, housekeepers, inventory, all that stuff. If you get up past 10 or 15 units, your goal should be to start to define each process of your business as a separate thing that somebody can master, and then start to find people who can master those for you. And that is the key to delegating and getting up to 100 properties, is building the right kind of team. So that should be your goal setting for the year. You can also make like monetary goals, like I want to double my revenue or triple my revenue, or I want to increase my net like margins on each property that you have. That could be another goal that you weave in. Now that you have goals, you can start to take action, or you can make an action plan to hit these milestones. It's a lot easier to hit a goal that is near than far. And so your goal setting should be a series of milestones to that bigger overarching goal, and then action plans to hit each one of those goals. So, for example, if your goal is to add 5 Airbnbs this year in your city, you need to start prospecting, of course, for property. And your action plan should be to find the properties that you think are going to serve your business model best. So I do a lot of apartment complexes because I like scale. I like having a team of housekeepers and lowering my internal costs. But you may be in a city that does much better with homes because it's seasonal, near the beach, and families go to stay. Like somewhere, say, maybe like Tampa or South Florida would do better with homes in the winter, but may do better with apartments in the city all year round. So you can decide what approach you want to take to achieve your goal. If your action plan includes new tasks, things that you've never done before or things that you don't understand, or maybe you're having a hard time coming up with your action plan because you don't know what you don't know, then I recommend getting a mentor, somebody who has experience in the industry that you can ask them questions and get their opinions. Fortunately for you, I have a Facebook group with about 12,000 hosts and hosts to be in it, and that is called the Hosts of Airbnb Automated, and they are remarkably supportive people. So if you're in search for a mentor or somebody local, or you just think that a Facebook group could mentor enough for you and you want to ask the masses, join that Facebook group and start asking your questions there. Even I am in that group, and I am sometimes answering some questions. I mean, there's probably 60 posts a day, and people get to them, but I don't see them all. But I may see you in that group if your post becomes popular enough, and I can even give you some of my thoughts. But I do believe that first you need to set goals, like ambitious goals that only your imagination could give you, and then you need to logically find resourceful ways to make your dreams come true. And having a mentor or somebody with experience is a great way to help flesh out the middle part, the part that you don't understand yet. Third, to be successful in 2021 as an Airbnb host, you need to understand what has changed. Now, in the description, I will leave another video of what's changed since like 2014 to 2020, because I did a video on that last year. But a big change has happened just at the end of 2020, which is Airbnb is now a public company. It's no longer private. So the decisions that they are going to make and why they make those decisions will now be, instead of because of the vision of the company, they could largely be because of the stakeholders of the company. So Airbnb's loyalty or their priorities will shift being public. For example, they've changed their extenuating circumstances policy. We will be doing a video on this in the future, but it's taking away a lot of the soft parts of the extenuating circumstances policy, that if there's a death of a loved one in the family, you'd be able to, of course, cancel a reservation without like penalty. Well, they're taking that away. They are also taking it away for hosts to be able to cancel a guest reservation because they no longer have access to the property, things like that. So there are just much stricter pieces to the extenuating circumstances policy that says we're less friendly and we care more about our money now. So these are the types of things that you're going to need to be prepared for. If I can give you one really big tip on what you should do strategically if you do rental arbitrage like me, using other people's homes, it would be this. Airbnb for the next 2 years has a unique opportunity in markets that have suffered because of coronavirus. Now, New York, it is highly regulated, where you can't legally Airbnb your home unless you live there at the same time that you're Airbnb to someone else. But let's use New York as an example just because of the economy. The rental market in New York has softened. Average rents have dropped at least 30%. There are people that I know that were paying say they were paying $8,000 a month for their apartment like in like East Village, and now they're being offered that same apartment for $4,000 a month, and they're getting 3 weeks free. That's how bad the rental market has gotten in New York. Now, all over the country, there's going to be certain like softening of the rental market depending on the city. And places like New York or places like Los Angeles, San Francisco, Chicago, population dense areas that are popular for tourism, rental prices will drop. But I think tourism may rebound faster than the rental prices will. So if this is true, and this is what I want you to keep an eye out for, if you notice that tourism is rebounding faster than the rental market is in a city that you're considering doing Airbnb, that is the time to jump in. as soon as you possibly can. Lock in a 1 year, 2 year, 3 year long lease with a landlord that will let you Airbnb. Lock it in at a lower rate, and then for the next couple of years, take advantage of the upswing of tourism where you're now making that same lofty hotel style price, but your rents are much cheaper. So this could be the perfect time to start an Airbnb business, or a perfect time to expand it, because it is very rarely that we see opportunity for arbitrage like this where you really can buy at a lower price than normal but still sell at a premium. So that's what I'm looking out for. That is what I'm prospecting in like 4 or 5 cities. I'm even starting to look internationally for property. All of that will come in future videos. But for now, if you're new, watch the suggested videos in the bottom. If you are a host with some experience, I really want you to think about the last thing that I said about the softening of the rental market. If you've got money to put in your Airbnb business, you want to look for those like A+ opportunities, and I think they are upon us. And that's how you're going to make millions of dollars on Airbnb, is understanding that our industry isn't just about picking up a house and being like a good host. Our industry is about discerning where we can get a good value on something that we can sell for more. Whether you're buying your homes or doing arbitrage, that's the name of the game. You want to be able to get a good value on what you're holding, which is your property, and you want to be able to sell it for more. Very simply that. And we are in what will be probably a long tail recovery from coronavirus, and it will cause unique opportunities. Wherever there is instability, there's opportunity. Remember that, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video, and more to come. I will see you on the other side.